It is a sad day for the Houston School District today. We learned that a whole bunch of teachers are out of a job.
ISD is confirming layoff notices have been handed out. The teachers union estimates that up to 250 job cuts are in classrooms.
We'd known it was coming. Frankly, 250 teachers is a lot of teachers to lose. However, that is a lower number than where we started. The initial number that we heard was closer to 700.
The layoffs were approved by the board back in March amid the district's $115 million budget crisis. News of layoffs comes at the end of a rather controversial week for HISD.
You may recall earlier this week the district backed off plans to turn over 10 schools to a charter program. But a couple of parents were arrested at a heated board meeting, and now there have been calls for the board president to resign.
Tonight, Jason Miles talks exclusively with the board president. He joins us from HISD headquarters. Jason?
Well, frankly, she says there's too much work left to do, although she regrets how things ended here the other night. Rhonda Skillern-Jones has no plan to step down.
Parent, volunteer, school board trustee, and current board president.
I've worked hard.
Rhonda Skillern-Jones plans to remain on that job.
And one misstep, I don't think for me, gives me a signal that I need to step down, because there's a lot of work that needs to be done.
That misstep came during Tuesday night's board meeting, from which Skillern-Jones had a number of people forcibly removed during a discussion over charter schools, including activist Candace Weber.
I feel like my rights were violated before I even showed up.
Skillern-Jones admits things could have been managed better during an emotional exchange.
In retrospect, there were some things I could have done differently, but the expectation of decorum does not change.
People were protesting a possible plan to turn 10 underperforming campuses into charter schools, a concept Skillern-Jones has long fought herself. However, she says keeping schools open is her primary objective. And under state mandates, charters that operate in partnership with the district may be the only option unless grades drastically improve in perpetually troubled schools.
In 2015, I put a moratorium on closures for schools, and it's because I know what happens to those kids and what happens to those communities, that I am trying at all costs to find solutions to avoid that, because that's a very real possibility.
Skillern-Jones says she and protesters probably have a common goal, if only reaching it wasn't so divisive.
In hindsight, if I could turn that around, I would.
Some of these protesters have suggested the district should just sue the state of Texas over some of these mandates. Skillern-Jones says that's all fine and good, but that takes years, litigation that is, and these schools need help now. She's still holding out hope that the state will grant waivers to schools directly impacted by Harvey. Meantime, some of those same protesters plan to be here tonight at 6 o'clock. We'll see how big that crowd gets a little later. Back to you.
Wow, there's a lot going on with HISD. Thank you, Jason.